Alright, so I see two possibilities of how the next One Piece chapter is gonna open up, because at the end of this chapter, Luffy says, hey look, there's somebody at the coast, and based on what happened with Jinbei and Big Mom, I think it's gonna be either two options, and it could be something completely different. It could be just a random character or whatever, but if Oda really wants to take this to a whole other level of darkness and shit like that, then I see a possibility of when they get there, it's either gonna be a dismembered Jinbei, either missing an arm, missing a couple arms, missing a leg, and he's gonna be there with just a stick holding himself up, or maybe Jinbei's dead body there, a decapitated body, because on the wheel it was like Limb or Life, basically, like a new game, Limb or Life, yeah, because you see that it had like arms, legs, and then like a head, which I'm guessing the head is his life or whatever. So I wouldn't be surprised if Oda went really dark, and like the chapter opens up, maybe it's not gonna be exactly as soon as the chapter begins, but they're gonna keep coasting towards the beginning. Maybe we'll have different characters, you know, showcasing and talking about other shit, and then by the end of the chapter we'll see, unless again Oda does something completely different and it's a completely different character. But I think that Jinbei right now is gonna showcase his loyalty to Luffy. Like, he already showcased a lot of loyalty to Luffy, like, you know, he kind of helped him out here or there in the Marineford, and going back to Marineford, and the promise that he made to him, like, yeah, I'm gonna join you guys, not right now, but I'm gonna join you guys. So that was loyalty enough. But if he loses a limb for Luffy, that showcases how down he is. And I mean, everybody continues on the theme of like Luffy and his crew are basically like Roger, even in this chapter when Pedro was talking about how they haven't told the secret in 26 years to anybody out of the clan, and it was basically Roger's crew. So it kept that going, and I think that's one of the things why Jinbei is so drawn to Luffy as well, not just because of his own character, but because of the resemblance that a lot of them have to Roger and his crew and stuff like that. So I think that's a large part of Jinbei's, you know, resolve to keep going with Luffy. And I mean, the beginning of the chapter was basically some stuff that we kind of already knew. Jinbei did want to join Luffy, and it was clarifying, like, he even went to his crew to respectfully say, do you mind if I rock with the Straw Hats and whatnot? And I wouldn't be surprised if there's some small setups that Oda is doing, because you see a lot of Big Mom's kids now, the whole pudding thing, a lot of people are saying that she might be a traitor or whatever, but you can see that a lot of Big Mom's children are not that happy with her. They're not like, hey, you know, mama, I love you. So with this chapter where we get to see Aladdin, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's Aladdin, cool, but it seems like it's based off Aladdin's name, but it's like Aladdin or Aladdin, whatever. But like, you know, the Aladdin motherfucker, his wife is one of Big Mom's children, and even her, she was like, yo, I'll stand with you before I go with mama, you know, I love you and shit like that. So you see a lot of Big Mom's children are displeased with her. They're not the happiest. I mean, her own son just fucking confirmed dead in this chapter that she sucked the life right out of him. So you gotta think for a second, if a lot of her kids aren't happy, maybe this is a setup as well, that there's gonna be an uprising and an uproar of Big Mom's children against her. They just tired of her shit. They're like, yo, ma, fuck you. And then getting a little bit of the backstory of Pedro, and kind of, I think that's the setup for how Peckham's became a part of Mom's crew and shit like that, because him and Pedro were pirates. They got to Big Mom's, probably they got fucked up big time, and Peckham was like, hey, I'll join you if you let this motherfucker go. So that's probably why Peckham's was on Big Mom's crew and Pedro went back and stuff like that. So that kind of makes sense to kind of give the origin to these two characters, even though they're not the most important. I think Peckham's is definitely more important than Pedro, but it kind of explains things, and also gives them a little bit more of a guide, because Pedro was at Whole Cake at one point, even though he got fucked up and, you know, annihilated, I'm sure he was there. So it gives him a little bit more. He doesn't know as much as Peckham's, obviously, but he does have some sort of guide. So maybe some of the missteps if pudding is leading them towards disaster, Pedro might know a thing or two and say, yo, duck. And we got progression that we're finally at Whole Cake. We're finally on the island that Big Mom is at. We're no longer in the surroundings. We're there, but I have a strong, ominous feeling that whatever it was at the coast is something really fucked up, and I think Jinbei is gonna pay a high price, whether his life or a limb or an eye or something like that. Oda's gonna make sure you want to join Straw Hat's crew, you're gonna have to pay the cost, because it's probably also symbolic in a way how, you know, the Straw Hat's been rocking together for a long time, and Jinbei will be like a member that joins, like, because what was the last member? Brooke back in Thriller Bark. So it's been a long time, so I think Oda's trying to say like, yo bro, you're gonna pay a cost to be with these motherfuckers, assuming again that he's even alive. Like, if Oda kills Jinbei, it would kind of be like devastating, but at the same time it'd be great, but who knows. Right now it's just kind of up in the air. Overall, this chapter, very good setup yet again. It's been a lot of very good setups, like good to very good setups, and Mama is just like, she's a monster. Like, she still has one of those qualities that you would like inside of a really good pirate, in the sense of like the whole One Piece universe, that she thinks that pirates should be living freely. She's like, yeah, you know, don't ask him his reasons, pirates should be free. However, I'm gonna take something from you if you're taking it from me. Like, Mom is a savage. Big Mom is a fucking beast. Like, first of all these motherfuckers, what was it, like 40 something husbands and 40 something baby daddies? Like, this bitch, she wanna eat, fuck, sleep, and she's just disgusting, and you gotta appreciate her character for that, because she's embodying a true pirate in female version. And it's like, I could do nothing but say, hey, you know, she's really a down-ass pirate. Prior to her, really one of the only big-time pirates that kind of resemble like what a pirate really should be is Blackbeard. But even though Big Mom, her design is wacky and the whole Cake Island shit is wacky, she is embodying what a real pirate would be like, just straight savage, not giving a fuck, but as a female. So yeah, honestly, very good stuff. I want to say 7.5 to an 8 yet again for this chapter. Very good setup. I'm just kind of feeling a little bit like doom and gloom for Jinbei. I mean, I'm not the biggest Jinbei fan in the whole world, but it would be kind of fucked if he loses his life in the process of trying to get to Luffy, or if he loses a limb, it kind of make him more badass, but then at the same time, that's kind of nerfing him in order to not make the Straw Hat so OP, because Jinbei, strong motherfucker. Remember when him and Luffy went toe-to-toe? Strong motherfucker. So it would seem as though he's kind of nerfing him in a way to make him seem more fit in with the Straw Hats and not be like, you know, on Luffy's level or even above. But let me know what you guys think. Big question, is Jinbei gonna die? Is Jinbei dead? Is that his dead body at the coast? Is he decapitated? Did Big Mom take one of his limbs in the process? Like, he was losing something, unless, you know, he said, oh, fuck that shit and ran or some crazy shit, which I don't think you could really run from Big Mom, even though she's a big bitch. You ain't running from Big Mom. Hey, overall thoughts of the chapter. Honestly, the beginning of the chapter with Jinbei and stuff like that, like, it was kind of stuff we already assumed, like, okay, yeah, you know, he had to talk to his crew at some point, but nonetheless, the end of the chapter is like, I want to know what that was at the coast. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.